For many years, Indonesia faced many issues, including dictatorship, economic troubles, natural disasters like tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. However, the situation has transformed significantly. Presently, Indonesia's economy keeps expanding at around 5% regularly, placing it in the category of an upper-middle income country and enthusiastically striving to achieve a high-income status by 2045. Now, what led to this change? And how is a once-called failed state rising to power? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out. Indonesia stands as the 7th largest emerging market based on GDP measured by purchasing power parity, and forecasts predict it will surpass Germany and Russia by 2024. The nation's economy is rapidly evolving. With a youthful population and swift urbanization, Indonesia is driving an upsurge in income. Projections suggest an estimated 90 million new consumers with significant purchasing capacity will join the market between now and 2030. Digital services play a crucial role, fostering a more interconnected consumer market. Over 100 million individuals collectively spend $80 billion annually on various services like e-payments and on-demand trucking apps. This growth in Indonesia's consumer base is second only to China and India on a global scale. A key factor drawing attention to Indonesia's economy is its possession of more than a fifth of the world's nickel, a critical component in electric vehicle batteries. Moreover, Indonesia ranks third globally in cobalt reserves, another crucial element. As Western countries, China and India offer incentives to attract electric vehicle investments domestically, Indonesia sees an opportunity. The abundance of these crucial resources for the global shift to sustainable energy is anticipated to spur economic resurgence and propel further growth. Nevertheless, Indonesia's natural resources aren't the sole driver anticipated to accelerate growth. Jakarta, the capital city, has emerged as one of the most successful hubs in Southeast Asia for fostering new technology firms. This development sparks optimism that Indonesia's complex geography, a sprawling archipelago of numerous islands, can be surmounted through digitization. Indonesia also leads among other ASEAN nations in its digital economy. The gross merchandise value, GMV, of the digital economy, representing the worth of goods sold via customer-to-customer or e-commerce platforms, surged from $41 billion in 2019 to $77 billion in 2022. Projections indicate a further climb to $130 billion by 2025. This rapid expansion of Indonesia's digital economy, even amid a pandemic, stands as a testament to the adaptability, determination, and resilience of the entire Indonesian populace. Sustained growth in the digital economy hinges on specific pivotal factors: government initiatives promoting digitalization, the advancement of micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, and a thriving startup environment. Apart from this, Indonesia has increasingly enticed foreign investors. With the region's youngest population, where 26% are under 15, it holds a vast consumer market. Additionally, Indonesia has traditionally pursued a cautious diplomatic approach, making it an appealing option for both Chinese and Western investors seeking opportunities amid relatively lower global attention. This stance has turned Indonesia into a stage for direct competition between Chinese and American digital companies and investors. For instance, in the battery sector, CATL, a significant Chinese firm, is investing $6 billion in a project. Concurrently, President Jokowi aims to attract Tesla for investments in Indonesia. Under President Joko Widodo, known as Jokowi, substantial investments in infrastructure have been made. The government constructed 16 new airports, 18 ports, laid 2,100 kilometers of toll roads, and completed 36 out of 61 dams. These efforts bolstered Indonesia's competitiveness in the global economy. According to the IMD Competitiveness Index, Indonesia's rank has surged from 44 to 34, indicating a 10-point rise, reportedly the highest globally. Competitiveness isn't solely dependent on GDP and productivity. It relies on effective infrastructure, robust institutions, and policies fostering sustainable value generation. In 2014, just before Jokowi's initial term, Indonesia imposed a ban on unrefined ore exports, aiming to encourage domestic processing of raw materials. This move stimulated foreign investment, especially in metals processing, compelling overseas investors to engage in Indonesia, thus significantly contributing to recent growth. This investment expansion spans beyond metals processing to manufacturing. On Java Island, housing half the population, a South Korean battery company, LG Energy Solution, and Hyundai, an automobile manufacturer, commenced the construction of Indonesia's inaugural EV battery cell plant late last year. The government hopes Tesla will follow suit and has proposed land for a sizable factory in central Java. These developments prompt inquiries into Indonesia's economic growth, which has predominantly revolved around Jakarta. The GDP per capita in the capital stands at approximately $19,000 per person. Conversely, in central Java, relatively close to Jakarta, about 230 kilometers away, the GDP per capita markedly lags at less than $3,000 per person. Furthermore, in the more distant and isolated islands of Indonesia, economic conditions are even more challenging, with income levels lower than those in Jakarta or central Java. However, the digital revolution is playing a role in alleviating economic inequality in Indonesia. It's improving the situation by reducing regulations and offering incentives for investment. The surge in e-commerce allows people from diverse locations to participate in the digital economy. Indonesian e-commerce platforms now offer nearly anything for purchase. The fastest growing cities, excluding Jakarta, are the medium-sized ones, with populations exceeding 2 million, such as Medan, Bandung, and Surabaya. Over the past 5 years, these cities have seen an average annual growth of 7.5%, slightly outpacing Jakarta's growth at 6.3%. President Jokowi has grander aspirations. Indonesia's economic output has maintained a respectable 5% annual growth since the Asian financial crisis, surpassing the global average of 3.6%. However, this growth has been overshadowed by more rapid expansions in other economies, China at 8.7% yearly, India at 7%, and Vietnam at 6.3%. Initially elected on a promise to elevate the growth rate to 7%, this goal appears unattainable. Why then is Indonesia locked at a 5% growth rate? In the 2 decades preceding the Asian financial crisis in 1997-98 under Suharto's leadership, Indonesia achieved an average annual economic growth rate slightly exceeding 7%. However, post-crisis, growth slowed, mainly due to the manufacturing sector's inability to match its pre-crisis pace of expansion. During Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono's (SBY) presidency from 2004 to 2014, Indonesia recovered from the crisis, benefiting notably from the mining boom and favorable monetary policies of several developed nations, particularly the US. Nonetheless, growth hovered just above 5% annually, failing to reach the 7% mark. In 2014, Joko Widodo, Jokowi, succeeded SBY as Indonesia's president. His aim is to restore Indonesia's economic growth to at least the pre-crisis level of over 7% annually by the end of his presidency. Jokowi and his administration have implemented diverse policies to bolster the Indonesian economy. They aimed to boost government spending on infrastructure by cutting the country's fuel subsidy, aiming to alleviate a major bottleneck hindering Indonesia's economic growth. Additionally, their focus was on improving national economic competitiveness, fostering exports, and attracting more investments. Although these initiatives showcased Jokowi and his economic team addressing numerous challenges within the Indonesian economy, they fell short of achieving the targeted 7% growth. The primary challenge affecting current growth is the declining return on investment. The construction and upkeep of infrastructure also pose significant challenges due to Indonesia's geographical factors and frequent natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis. Consequently, transportation and energy costs remain high, dissuading foreign investment. Foreign direct investment, FDI, constitutes a relatively small fraction of total investment, averaging 2% of GDP over the past decade. This figure falls behind many Asian counterparts like Vietnam with 6.6% of GDP, Malaysia with 3.5%, and Thailand with 2.5%. Given that FDI often brings substantial productivity enhancements and positive spillover effects to the economy, this situation diminishes the overall investment efficiency. Another challenge lies in the dwindling manufacturing sector. Indonesia experienced manufacturing-led growth from the mid-1980s to the mid-1990s, but has since seen a decline. The lack of significant productivity enhancements has been a key contributing factor to the sector's downturn. Regrettably, one reason for low productivity is the government's reduced spending on development in areas like capital, education, health and social assistance, which has remained low and even decreased slightly relative to GDP since 2015 due to weak revenue collection compelling the government to curtail overall expenditure.